Making sure we're rolling. Okay. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kathleen Williams, for those that are maybe new. I just started this channel just to document my life post-travel. I am about 6 weeks back, I think almost 7 weeks back from traveling. For those that don't know, I traveled around Southeast Asia for 3 months. From January to March of this year in 2026. I quit my job last year in December after working there for 2 years. And now I'm here. I'm back home, and home for me is Idaho. Southwest corner, southeast corner. Right? Southwest corner. I was right the first time. And I think just after some time to settle back in and just sit with it, not feel as overloaded on all the things I was doing, I feel like I can kind of share about it. So it's gonna be 5 things I learned while I was traveling. So yeah, let's get into it. To start off, we might be starting off kind of just hitting the ground running. Something I learned after my travels was that traveling didn't fix me. I think it honestly broke me more and gave me somewhere to build from. And what I mean by that is before I started traveling for my job, I was in a place I really didn't like it. I was a project manager, and my degree is in mechanical engineering, and my brain works more creatively and outside of the box, physically and mentally. Because the job I was doing, I was literally in a box. I worked in a building with no windows, white walls, fluorescent lighting, not a lot of communication or relational conversations with my coworkers, and it just felt very isolating. And my moods would be all over the place, and I just felt like I was running on empty. I was burning out really quick, and it just felt like it all of a sudden went really fast. And when I decided to go travel, I felt like it was like, okay, this is gonna change me. This is gonna fix a lot of things in my, I'm gonna feel better from this. I'm gonna feel fulfilled and happier. And yes, it opened my mind and my perspective to a lot of things I never thought about, but it also taught me that that's not the solution. Traveling wasn't the solution to all of my problems. Those problems came with me to Asia. They just might have gotten muted for a little bit while I got to explore, and coming back here, I think those have just opened up, and it gave me, when I got back, I was starting from ground zero. I had no job. I was coming out of, I ended a friendship before I started traveling, and dealing with family stuff and just all this mental and physical issues with my body. And I was really starting from a ground zero again. I think traveling gave me that opportunity to just reset my life when I came back, in a way that I didn't think it would, I guess. Like I thought it would kind of ease, like it would just kind of pick up a little bit more where I left off when I got back, I guess. But honestly, everything kind of just made me focus on different things when I got back and what was really important. So I'd say that was a big lesson I learned from traveling. And it just taught me to get out of those routines that I put in place. Because I'd been doing these routines for months and months, and then all of a sudden I was put in this atmosphere, this environment where those routines were out the window. Like, I was not eating the same things, I was not doing the same things every day. It was unpredictable. I met new people. And so it really gave me a new, fresh start of what my routine could look like when I got back, and that I could make it whatever I wanted to. Like, it just opened up my mind to all the possibilities of what my life can look like now. So I'll stop with that one there, but that was a big lesson for me to learn, and just not being stuck in my routines, and that traveling isn't the answer to maybe your problems if you're deciding on traveling. But it is an amazing opportunity, and you learn so much from it. My second thing that I learned, we'll be on to the second one, is more sensual, similar to what I was saying with my job. I'll say what it was. When I landed in Bangkok, all of my senses just got heightened. Like I was saying previously, I was working in a box. All of my senses were kind of numbed down. Like I wasn't using them very much. Smelling the same things, seeing the same things, tasting the same things. I'm a creature of habit. I'll eat the same thing for months on end. You can ask anyone close to me. Like I can get stuck. Like I'm not a big foodie. Like I don't need to be trying different foods. I love food, but probably for different reasons than other people. So when I landed in Bangkok, it was just like something I didn't think I would. It wasn't something I was going there thinking I would experience. Was just all of the color and the neon signs and the lights and the movement and the liveliness in the cities and the motorcycles going by and the cars going by, the traffic, just seeing how it all flowed, and the hikes I would do, just the lush of the jungle, like the jungle I'd never seen before. And so to be in the jungle where I see like I'm staring at my house plant right now. It's a snake plant, and I remember seeing that like in the jungle, being like, "Oh my god, that's literally my living room, like the snake plant." And just seeing like bananas growing on trees, and just all these different like bugs and animals and ways that they use the jungle, and it was their dry season, which was crazy. So just seeing all the lush there and the greenery, and they had all these night markets and people selling things on the side of the road all the time in the cities and the small towns and the villages, and you could get all these different kinds of foods and all these different aromas you would smell, and all these different foods that I'd never tried. Like they ate a lot of meat there, so there was a lot of like you could be eating all these different parts of the chicken, or they had a lot of pork, different ways to eat pork and sausages, and what was another one? Beef. They don't have a lot of cows there, so there wasn't a lot of beef, but there was some. Or they had this thing called roti, which is like a pancake, like more of a crepe pancake, and then they would put like, you could ask for bananas on it, and Nutella, or it was more of a sweet treat, and probably more geared towards like travelers and tourism, but so good. And again, I'll try and post some pictures so you can see. But just the way like my senses just like flooded me, like it was like a slap in the face of like, wow, like I actually, like I can feel these all again, like I can feel I don't even know, like it was just something I hadn't experienced in so long that I'd been so numbed. So to bring it alive again was incredible. And I think I'll always remember that feeling of just landing in the city and seeing all the lights and the people, and how it flowed in the most chaotic way, if that makes sense. And yeah, it was something I think everyone should be able to experience. It's just all the liveliness, and especially in Asia, it was just like an overwhelming amount. But yeah, that was pretty incredible. Move on to lesson number 3 that I learned. And this one was this one is an interesting one because I feel like for me it connects in a different way. Like it's really stuck with me. Like something I noticed a lot in Asia is they live very multi-generational. Um, like, is like if I was living with my mom still and my grandparents, like a lot of families lived in those big families where you're living with your parents and your parents' parents and your kids' kids and like I would walk down the roads at some points in the evenings and I would see all the families eating dinner together and just laughing. Or in Vietnam, karaoke was super popular, so you would hear karaoke down the street and you walk by and they're just singing at the top of their lungs, super off key. Just having a good time and just standing there watching them just break bread together. It made me value, like I have family is a very big value to me, but I think it made me value it more, and just kind of made me realize that I want to be near my family, I guess. And I think that's really important, and I think it's something I feel like in Western culture we kind of move away from sometimes. Of just you need to be moving around, and yes, like it's just really popular to go and explore and live in a new city and a new state. But something I hadn't really thought of before because we just do it so easily. Like I could move to Texas if I wanted to like that and it'd be easy. But for them to move to like they don't have states, so like if they're gonna move to another part of the country or to another country, it doesn't make as much sense to, or they just don't. It's not something they do easily. Because when I came back, I felt like I needed to move. Like it was like, okay, I've experienced Idaho. I should probably go try out a new state, see what else I like, and I think we take that for granted. Like that's such a cool thing that we get to do is just go and move and try a new thing. I realized like I like Idaho. I've enjoyed my time here and I don't want to move. Like I feel like in my heart I'm supposed to be here, and my mom and my sister are here, and my sister's getting married, hence the previous video. Go give it a watch. And starting to build a community here and connections with people, and the only reason I would move would be for a job and just because I felt like that's just how it rolls here. But I genuinely enjoy Idaho, and so it helped me realize that I want to stay here. Like I don't want to move when my family's here and I can create those connections. With family, I think it also just gave me that perspective of like there's things with my family, like I'm not close with my dad, and I'll just say that. So I think to see just families gathering together and just the importance of it in other countries, it made it feel more important to me in a way, even though it already was important. But I don't know, it was just cool to see how much they value each other and their families, and that they don't want to move away. My fourth lesson that I learned, this one's kind of more of a story. It was basically, the story would just kind of be around just our desire to connect as a human race. I landed in Chiang Mai, and I spent 3 weeks in Chiang Mai, and I decided I want to do like an overnight hike. So I did it was a 2-day 1-night trek. So there was like 10 of us. We trekked in, stayed the night in a small village, and then trekked out, not checked out. And then when we got to the village, the place we were staying, made a fire and all these things, and there's people in my group from Germany, Austria, Hungary, Netherlands, all over, I think, and I was the only American. Most of them from Europe. but me and another guy went. He was from Hungary. Stayed up later when everyone went to bed and just kind of hung out around the fire a little longer. And he just kind of started to open up to me more, and I think just kind of tell me about his life. And we went into spirituality and what it's like in Hungary and what it's like in the US, and even went into I asked him what his dream jobs would be, and he went into some of those and just some of relational things, and we just talked about all these different things, and I feel like I really got to listen to and just hear him out. And I think from that I really took away just one is I think not a lot, like I feel like people can want someone to just listen to them and just hear them. I think that's always something I've done is I like to just kind of sit there and let people talk. I feel like I'm good at letting people do that, and giving them the space to, especially doing this trip solo. And I consider myself very independent, and I felt comfortable going and doing this by myself and just being brave and bold. And him opening up to me just kind of made me realize it's a commonality between all of us is we just want to connect and have relational and meaningful conversations. And I think that's also something I learned was I was really looking forward to solo traveling, but there were a lot of moments where I was like, man, this would be cool to share this moment with. And sure, I was there with strangers, and it was still really cool to share with other people in general. Like I did a overnight trek to a cave, the world's third largest cave, with 20 people I didn't know, and it was amazing. But it would have been cool to share it with someone I think that was close to my heart. And I think most of my life I felt like I've needed to be super independent and do things on my own, and it really made me really realize that I do enjoy other people's company. Not that I didn't, but it made me realize more that I enjoy being around other people and enjoy connecting with others, even if we're not always talking. I think just sharing a presence, because I do value my alone time, but and I'll go do things by myself all the time, but I do enjoy good conversation with someone else that also is kind of open to connect and go deeper. And I thought that was really cool to kind of realize about myself, because I'd always felt again, it's a good thing, but too much independence can be a little scary, I guess. It's good to have people in your life to count on and to rely on. We're not meant to do this life alone. I think that was something with Asia's, they were all fleeting or passing. They weren't most likely people I mean, yes and no, but most likely, who knows, next time I would see that person again. So I think in my mind I knew there was only so deep I could go with them. So I think that was also another thing with coming back to Idaho is I didn't want to move somewhere and start over. So while I was traveling, I could tell I didn't fully invest for that reason. But now being back, I want from those experiences, I realize how much I want that. We all just want someone to connect with and relate to. So, yeah, that was that one. I think I touched on this earlier, but this is my 5th lesson I learned. And I feel like I just kind of noticed this my whole time I was traveling, was just how much of a privilege it is to travel and to go and do something like that, especially at my age. A lot of people Western society, at least the U.S., like you probably wait to go travel until you retire. I think it's becoming more and more popular to do it when you're young, when you have the energy, when you have little responsibility. Um, um, so I didn't take that for granted. And one of the reasons I chose Southeast Asia was honestly, like, it was cheaper, so it was more budget friendly, especially for a solo traveler in her 20s and female. And it was a very safe area. But, like, I met a lot of other people in their 20s and, or middle 30s, just around, Gen Zs, millennials. And it was cool to just see what other people were doing when they traveled, like what they were interested in doing and what I wanted to go do. And it just made me very grateful that I got to go do that at the age I am now, when I don't have a lot of responsibility. I'm not in a relationship. I don't have a lot of bills. A lot of people over there also, I say it's a privilege to travel because a lot of them won't really get the opportunity to. Like when I was in Vietnam, I think it was like my second or third week there, I did this waterfall like abseiling tour, which was super cool. And I almost didn't do it. I almost let money stop me, which I guess could be another lesson in itself. Just don't let money stop you from doing things. Because money you can get back, time you can't. This guy that was leading it, he was from Vietnam, a local to Vietnam. And he kept saying, he was like, thank you for visiting my country. Like, it means a lot that you came and visited. And I think especially being from the U.S. and like learning about the Vietnam War, he just kept saying like, thank you for visiting. And I was like asking like, oh, would you ever travel? And he's like, oh, I'd love to, but it's too expensive. Like, you can't afford it. And it really is, like, it's not cheap to travel. It's you gotta have a lot of things in line and a plan of funds and all that, and it's expensive, and especially to leave the country too. Like, it's not cheap. So especially go to Europe or the U.S., it is not cheap. So it just made me very grateful that I got to go and travel to Vietnam and meet these people that were grateful for me to be there, to see their country that I wanted to be there. And he was my age too, the tour guide, which is kind of cool. A lot of tour guides I met were around my age, and it was interesting just to hear like what they do for work, and they meet so many travelers too, and that's one of the things they love about the job. And just that I never thought that would be something I would go and do and experience, and I don't think I'll ever take that for granted, because not a lot of people will ever get the chance to do that or be in the position where they can, especially solo. I feel like you can learn just so much from being solo, and you really sit with yourself a lot. And yeah, I think overall it was just really opened my mind to what is possible for me to do outside of a 9-to-5 job or 7-to-5, what I was doing. I'm a believer. I have faith in God in my heart, and just I can see what I can create with God as well. And that's something I've just kind of been learning and developing, and a journey I've recently been on of discovering my faith and what that looks like for me. And seeing how he's showing up in my life right now. And so yeah, I think it's just important to dream big, and it's hard to do that. And when we're kind of limited by what we've grown up knowing or even for me, it's you go to school, you graduate, you find a job, you have kids, or you get married, you have kids. It's like a timeline of like how your life's supposed to play out, but traveling gave me that perspective of like, I was here and now I can go like here, and the world is my oyster and the sky is the limit. And I want this channel to be a place where I can document kind of this journey and what this horizon of expanding my possibilities of career and life will look like. And I want to document it and share it. Simple as that when you think about it. Those are the main things I learned. There's so many things I feel like you can learn from traveling. And I think everyone should do it at least once, even if it's not for 3 months. That's not always possible, but there's so much value in just going out of your normal routine. And I hope everyone gets a chance to experience something like that. Thank you for tuning in if you stayed to the end. I'll see you in next week's video.